player to watch for Beaches is number 23, Jordan Hall. Can play out wide as he is today. He's playing on the left wing. Can also play up top. And we're underway in Stewart. Miami Fusion ball, and they're going left to right on your television screens. Thank you for joining us tonight on Sports Mesh NPSL Sunshine Conference action, whether you're watching on your television, your smartphone, whatever other device you've got, your iPad, your Android device, your Kindle. You can watch us on all those devices. Beaches now in possession. Hall playing a ball forward, but that's going to drift to the keeper. Take some time for the players. They had a shortened warm-up following the weather delay. They were out for about 15 to 20 minutes before the first horn sounded at 5:28, we'll call that, 5:29 p.m. Here in Stewart, and then briefly came back out around 6:40 and got about 3 or 4 minutes of light running in before the horn sounded again, and they went back in. And here you're seeing the Fusion press high. So came back out around 7:20, shortened warm-up, and we kicked off just after 7:41. So not ideal, but both teams have to go through it, and there'll be some feeling out of this playing surface and the winds, no doubt, in these conditions. Ball played to the left side, and that's going to roll out a play that will be a goal kick. Put back in play. And here come Beaches. There's that young man, Jordan Hall, we talked about at the outset. Gets past this defender, puts a dangerous ball in the area, but it is cleared. That was in the direction of Noah Amissa, the starting striker for Beaches. And Missa is quick and has a strength, a body strength. He can hold the ball up. Very ideal number 9. As is Hall, quite frankly. Hall can play up front also. So here comes the corner. This is going to be Val Feeney taking it. Feeney puts it in the air. Punched out by the keeper. We've seen Beaches start. Oh! That's going to be a foul. Some contact there. Alan Martinez goes to the ground for Beach. Excuse me. Let's watch this again. Played back in the area. And the foul there. I believe that was Sakamoto. Felipe Sakamoto, the number 10 for Beaches. Quality player. Strong on the ball, gets back defensively. I have to say, I've seen Beaches several times this season. They tend to start games quickly and have faded in second halves of games. So certainly, while they're on top, they've been the better side in the first 4 minutes, first 3 minutes and change here. They're going to want to get something. Saw them hold on for dear life against the Crays a few weeks ago here in Stewart, a game where they were up a man, and Crays still created the bulk of chances in the second half. And here come Fusion. Sakamoto settles it. And he's going to go forward. And there'll be a throw-in. It was in the direction of Lucas da Silva. Another throw-in for Beaches. Rain's still pretty intense here at South Fork High School in Stewart, Florida, on the Treasure Coast. But remember, for those of you who aren't aware of the weather delay rules, they revolve around lightning and player safety due to lightning and the potential of lightning strikes. So now we've got rain. We've got heavy rain, but it's just rain, and you can play through rain. As you probably notice if you watch the English Premier League, it seems like every game is played in the rain in England, and they play through it. But if you have lightning, which they don't get in England very often, you can play through it. But the 2-hour delay for us before this match kicked off was due to lightning. Lightning in the area within 5 miles. Here's a ball in the direction of Hall. Isn't able to control it. Nice fling forward. And here comes Hall again for Beaches. And this was the intended recipient there, but it's doesn't quite get to him. And this tracking back. Cardosa was the intended recipient of that ball. He got behind the defense, but the ball didn't quite get to him. But he's very dangerous in one-on-one situations that we've seen all season. Ochoa plays it back. Nice layoff there. And this tracking back to try and win this ball, but it is won by Cardosa and the Fusion back in possession. Good ball. That's Daryl Gordon, the former Fort Lauderdale striker. Scored a goal a couple weeks ago, coming up from a defensive position. Oh. That'll be an elbow and a free kick for the Fusion. You're seeing the Fusion begin to get themselves into this match. Good free kick, and that goes to Ochoa, and it is saved by the keeper. A little bit of a delayed reaction there, but good save, excellent free kick. However, you have to question the man marking from Beaches. Got the separation there. Some ball watching. Loss of possession there. Unforced error, and it'll be a throw-in for Beaches. Here's Callum Page. Val Feeney plays, wears number 9, but plays in the number 6 role for Beaches. Likes to tuck back, gets touches on the ball, dictates the tempo and pace of the game. Another unforced error there. And it'll be a throw-in for the Fusion. Here's Gordon. Beaches feeling out the Fusion here. Long ball in the direction of Cardosa. Excuse me, in the direction of Ochoa, who lays it off for Cardosa. Oh! Nifty little move by Victor Cardosa, and he wins a throw-in for the Fusion. Gordon puts it back in play to Cardosa. Tried to turn, but good defending there. Now Beaches in possession, trying to break on the counter. De Silva. Now Val Feeney will have to settle this down. Looks like Miami Fusion pressing high. Play a long ball to break that press, and it will be a throw-in for Beaches. You also sense both teams want to get a goal early in these weather conditions. You never know if you're going to play a full 90 in this in these situations. League rules dictate if we get to 45, if we get to halftime and we're in the dressing room and we can't come back out, the game is official. And of course, we had a game involving the Miami Fusion a few weeks ago where they got 62 minutes in. There was some argy-bargy, for lack of a better term. They were leading 5-2 against Miami United, and that game went in the books. 62 minutes, 5-2 victory for the Fusion. There's Sakamoto laying it off. And that is taken away. Juan Ramirez pushing up from his right back position, overlapping De Silva there. See if we continue to see that from Beaches as the match wears on. We're in the 10th minute in Stuart, Florida on the Treasure Coast. I would normally say the sunny Treasure Coast, but it's certainly not that tonight. On Sports Mesh, NPSL Sunshine Conference action, Beaches 0, Fusion 0. Carter Krishna are guiding you through the action tonight. Good turn here. Beaches now trying to press high. Sakamoto closing down his man, forcing a quick pass. And here's Chapman Page, a little bit of trouble clearing that. And Gordon gets it and gets fouled by Chapman Page, who had the heavy touch that led to the turnover. Let's see how the official deems this. Is this going to just be a foul, or is he going to go in the book? Heavy challenge, sloppy challenge. We're early in the match. We've got some bad weather conditions. Good officiating here. The official's going to talk to the young man, Callum Chapman Page, and warn him. Next time he does that, he will be in the book, I'm guessing. Gordon looks okay. He's up, walking. So we're going to see a free kick now for the Fusion. And that rolls harmlessly to the keeper, Elliot Barker. Or check that. I believe we've got Fernando Cortez actually starting in goal tonight for Beaches. Barker, the normal keeper. I have him listed on my team sheet, but it looks like Cortez, wearing the number 1 shirt, is the keeper tonight. Apologies for that. Sakamoto. Tafini. Nice attacking move. Some nice build-up play from Beaches there, but again, an unforced error, and I think some of these errors are happening for both sides because of these conditions. Changes the way you play these conditions, although I have to say, it does beat playing in the heat and humidity of Southeast Florida. Normally it would be a balmy afternoon here on the Treasure Coast. Both these teams made up largely of local players. Southeast Florida, Beaches largely players from Palm Beach, Martin, and St. Lucie counties. The Miami Fusion largely players from Dade and Broward counties. So these players know each other pretty well, and of course these two teams played just a few days ago. Good ball. Here's Gordon in acres of space. Lays it off for Cardosa, who's going to take a shot from distance. So we said he's been on a four-game goal-scoring streak, but that was a bit ambitious, particularly with a heavy ball in these conditions. Harmlessly rolls to Cortez, who has no problem putting it back into play. And here's Chapman Page. Melbecki, now Valfini. Long ball from Feeney in the direction of De Silva, doesn't quite get there. As the rain continues to drop here in Stuart. Oh, a layoff, Gordon! And it is saved, and it will drift away for a corner. Gordon scored a goal like that against the Craze a few weeks ago for the Fusion. That was really good. Some nice team play there. And another save, and it'll be another corner. The Fusion have been very good this season. They're beginning to assert their dominance on this match as well. It's a good first 5 minutes for Beaches, but since then, the Fusion have been the better side. And again, you never know about getting a full 90 in here, so both teams trying to score early. And that header from Ochoa goes over the crossbar. But again, you got to look. Got to be concerned if you're Trevor Addiar and the Beaches staff. That was a dangerous ball, which almost got closed down. And now the high press is forcing Beaches to move the ball quickly, and they do. Sakamoto breaks the press, now looks for options. But misplays a pass, misread it. De Silva cut inside. He played the ball on the outside. It'll be a throw-in for Fusion. Miami of Fusion, of course, can trace their lineage, or at least the lineage of their name, back to Major League Soccer. We'll get back to that in a minute. Here's Valfini. Sakamoto laying it off. Good ball in the air. Gordon clears it. That was a bit of a good idea there. We're getting back to, and that's going to be a foul on Amissa. Getting back to the history of the Miami Fusion name, the team, of course, the Fusion played in Major League Soccer, and here you see the replay. Clear foul there, trying to close down space. Played in Major League Soccer, based in Fort Lauderdale from 1997 to 2001. Started playing in 1998, actually, but was awarded a franchise in 1997. That name has persisted. A lot of people like the name. It has a branding. And so this team, which started in NPSL a few years ago, playing at Broward College South in Pembroke Pines, now has shifted to Ives Regional Park in Aventura. Really only about 2 or 3 miles from where they started at Broward College. That having been said, you are crossing a county line, so maybe there's a psychological difference there for some folks. But kind of a Dade Broward legacy, Dade and Broward County legacy name. Miami Fusion, and they are a team that plays that has attracted fans and players from both counties. Martinez playing it to Callum Page. Sakamoto. De Silva cuts inside. De Silva, but is dispossessed. This is a very young team, this Beaches team. Fusion aren't such a young team. As we've said, there's a lot of former pro players on this Fusion team, and they're a team that has just been very, very good this season. This high press is causing problems once again for Beaches. Let's see if they can break it. Here is Jordan Hall. Runs out of steam there. Not only have Ochoa and Cardoso, who we've talked about, been very good for this team this season, but Wiedmann's been good. Godoy has been good. Videla has been good. They've had just about everybody on this team have played well. They had the blip, obviously, against Craze a couple weeks ago in a game that Victor Cardoso, their leading scorer, missed. But otherwise have been solid in this Sunshine Conference. And, of course, that 5-2 result against Miami United. Who knows what the score would have been if they'd played a full 90 minutes. They might have won 7-2 or 8-2 the way that game was going. But that 5-2 was really laid down a marker in this NPSL Sunshine Conference season. And they are the team to beat right now in the league. But this league is very competitive at the top. We've seen Craze United play very, very well. Seen a number of their games. Here's a replay. Sakamoto turned and may have slipped a bit on this wet surface, but gets the foul call there. The teams, we've seen Crazy United. I've seen them a number of times. They haven't played badly yet. I think they're a very good team. A team that has been impressive, even when they've lost games. And obviously, Ray Sandage leading that team, a veteran, a guy who has won a national championship at the PDL level. Now here's an opportunity for Beaches, and Hall sends it high and out of play, and it will be a goal kick. That was an opportunity for the young man we talked about early in the broadcast, Jordan Hall. You see the cross coming in here. Here's Sakamoto, shakes his defender, puts a ball across the face of goal. Now, defensively, that should never happen. And I think Coach Ferdy and his staff at Miami Fusion, they are not going to be happy about that. They're going to be bringing that up in the dressing room, I'm sure, to the defenders. That should never happen. So cross across the face of goal, but Hall isn't able to take advantage of it. And we're still 0-0 here. As finishing up the top thought about Crazy United, Ray Sandage has had a limited squad this season, but he's a guy that's won a national championship along with Joe Avalon with the Orlando Craze, Central Florida Craze in those days, in PDL. So very accomplished coach, very accomplished staff, and Crazy United are another contender in this NPSL Sunshine Conference. Here's a free kick. Put in the air. And Cardosa gets his head to it, but puts it over the crossbar. So it'll be a goal kick. It's one of those messy, rainy nights. And if this were a Premier League match with these conditions, we wouldn't bat an eye. Everybody would be getting their halftime cup of tea. But here, South Florida, it's a little bit different because we have something called lightning, and we had a 2-hour weather delay. And we're glad you're joining us on Sports Mesh for NPSL Sunshine Conference action. Those of you tuning in now might be expecting a full-time score or to check out second half stoppage time, but we did not kick off till about 7:40. And here's a shot from De Silva across the face of goal. Keeper got a touch, so it will be a corner. Wasn't expecting that. Thought De Silva was going to whip a cross in. And instead, he put that in the direction of goal. Yeah, I was trying to catch the keeper off his line. Good idea. Feeney puts the corner in the air. It is cleared. It's going to fall back to Jordan Hall. And that is not going to be a penalty. Looked like that was a handball. I'll have to check that out again when we get a chance. But Hall put that back in the mixer, so to speak. Deflected off one or two defenders. And it'll be a goal kick now. And now let's check this replay out again. Here we go. Here's Hall. Makes contact with the ball. Gordon's arms are down in front of his body in what you would deem an unnatural position. So perhaps that's a missed call and that should have been a penalty. But there are a million interpretations of the handball rule, so some of you watching at home probably disagree. But I think that the referee very well could have been justified calling a penalty there. But he doesn't, so we play on, and it's 0-0 still. You can see the cars of the Florida Turnpike in the background. For those of you familiar with this area, the Stewart area, Hope Sound area, we are right off the Turnpike at South Fork High School in Stewart. Stewart, Hope Sound, Palm City, the major places here in Martin County. Feeney lets that run, plays a little bit of a dummy to Hall. That was nifty, but doesn't seem to have accomplished much. And Fusion now have possession. Ochoa, I'm not quite sure what he was doing there. Sakamoto. Now again, it's difficult for these players. Some of these things come off very, very well in ideal conditions. Dummy runs, little flicks, nifty flicks that are tough with a heavy ball, a heavy wet ball when it's still raining. And it's raining somewhat heavily still here in Stewart. Cardoso draws the throw-in for the Fusion. We're in the 25th minute. Sports Mesh coverage of the NPSL Sunshine Conference. We're with you all season, bringing you most NPSL Sunshine Conference games. You can watch us on your television, on your smart TV, Roku stick, Apple TV, whatever you have, your smartphone. And also watch all of the matches on demand, all the matches we broadcast on demand on YouTube. Here's Hall. Been at the center of most of the action in this first half. And it is cleared for a throw-in. It'll be a throw-in for Beaches. You can watch also highlights of every game we broadcast on YouTube, on Sports Mesh's YouTube channel. Go to YouTube and just type in a search for Sports Mesh and you'll find us. And don't forget to follow us. That is going to be a foul on Amissa, who's now cutting a bit of a frustrated figure. Got called for a foul earlier when trying to press high. Some frustration about the lack of a handball call earlier, I sense, with some of the Beaches players. This is an important game. Miami Fusion want to continue their upward trajectory, get 3 points in this game, go top of the table in terms of points. They are top of the table in terms of points per game, which is how we rank teams in the NPSL Sunshine Conference because of the unevenness of the schedule. Some teams have played 7 games, some teams like Beaches have played 4. So we do points per game, and based on points per game, Miami Fusion are top of the table. But they would like to go formally top of the table with 3 points tonight. A point will do it too as well because of goal difference and their head-to-head victory over Miami United. Miami United, if you look at points earned, are actually top of the table, but they have a negative goal difference, which is similar to Huddersfield Town in the English Championship, first team to get promoted to the Premier League or to the top flight in England in about 40 years with a negative goal difference. David Wagner's team, former U.S. international, coaching them. For many years, Huddersfield was just a town off the M62 on the drive between Leeds and Manchester for so many people in England, but now it's the home of a Premier League team, albeit one that had a negative goal difference in the championship. That's what Miami United has done in this league. They've won 4 games in the NPSL Sunshine Conference, all by 1 goal. And they got beat 5-2 in Aventura against this Miami Fusion team, and they got beat 3-0 in Orlando against the Central Florida Craze. So they have a negative goal difference of -2. I said Orlando, but of course I meant Winter Park, but the Orlando area. I know people from Winter Park get particular about being told they're from Orlando, so don't want to offend anyone. And the rain has remained steady and somewhat heavy during this first half, but no lightning in the area, and we've been able to play through this. Going to be a throw-in. Juan Ramirez, wearing the captain's armband tonight for Beaches, puts that towards Amissa. De Silva's cut inside. And this will be a throw-in for, good job for Beaches. Wasn't expecting that. Amissa and De Silva close down the defender, and they get a throw-in. And here's Ramirez once again, the captain. He's going to take one of those Rory DeLapp long throw-ins. Rory DeLapp, the former Stoke City star, Irish international, known for those long throw-ins. Amissa is the target, doesn't get there. Good defending by Miami Fusion. And we are going to get a foul here on Ochoa. I believe it was on Ochoa. I'm not positive. That's an interesting call because it seems like no one really had possession. Okay, it is a good call now on as we see that replay. He kicked him from behind. Valfini standing over this for Beaches. Player I would call a cultured midfielder. Good number 6, Valfini. See if you can put it in the direction of the goal. 4-man wall for the Miami Fusion. Here's Feeney. Just puts it wide, high and wide. Said earlier, as we're in the 31st minute here, first half action from Stewart, NPSL Sunshine Conference. Said earlier that Beaches have tended to play better in the first half of games than they have in the second half of games. We also know that the Miami Fusion have played really well in the second half of games. So if you're Trevor Adear, you want to see your team get a goal here. Had some chances. Best chance fell to Jordan Hall on a cross from Sakamoto that traveled in front of the face of goal. Probably should have been finished by Hall. But they still have not recorded a goal here. There's a Missa. And the rain has picked up in the last few minutes. But again, we can play through rain. We can't play through thunder and lightning. That's the rule. Our 2-hour weather delay was due to lightning. Player safety issue, fan safety issue. Amissa charging the keeper, forcing him to pick it up and put it in the air, and he does. Ochoa lays it off. I don't know. Quite okay. There's a long ball. This is in the direction of Gordon, who's going to settle it. Good job there. Blast past the defender, and it is cleared. And that will be a corner kick. That was Mehdi Rachidi, the defender for Beaches FC. Good move by Gordon on Jordan Hall, who would track back to cover the man. This is going to be a corner. Dangerous situation. We've seen set pieces, some chances for Miami Fusion previously. There's the ball in the air. And that is going to be deemed a foul or a handball on the Fusion. Free kick for Beaches. So that goal will be disallowed. Whistle went long before the ball was put in the back of the net. As we approach halftime here, the 33rd minute, we're about to be in the 34th minute. Been a pretty even game thus far. Both teams have had their chances. We had a 2-hour weather delay. There's Cortez. Choa won that initially for the Fusion, and now there's an opportunity. Good idea. Didn't quite come off. Here's Cardosa. It's laid in the direction of Ochoa, but that's a good save there from Cortez. Now Valfini going to try and build from the back. This Beaches team is very good at trying to build methodically from the back, but occasionally in weather like this you have to play some long balls. Chapman Page got into all kinds of trouble there with Fusion high pressing. Tried to find Hall, but will be a throw-in, but at least he got out of his own area, and the Beaches can reset their defense now. Playing it back. Here's Jordan Hall trying to take the ball away there, and finally won by Sakamoto. Hall playing it forward to Amisa. Keeper came out. Good challenge there, and it'll be a throw-in for Beaches. Keepers are coming off their line more and more these days in world football. Another example there. When these two teams played a few days ago, Cardosa and Ochoa, two names we've called a lot in this first half, scored the goals for Fusion in the 2-1 win. Lucas da Silva scored the lone goal for Beaches. Steady rainfall today, this evening, even after we've got overcome our weather delay in Stewart. There's Valfini, wins it for Beaches. And here's Jordan Hall. Oh, that's good defending. That was really good defending. NPSL Sunshine Conference action here on Sports Mesh. We're bringing you most of the games from this conference during the course of this season. Beaches FC and Miami Fusion FC 0-0 in the 37th minute. We're about to be in the 38th minute. We had a 2-hour weather delay before kickoff. When it kicked off an hour and 40 minutes late. The horn sounded about a half an hour before warm-ups. So more than a 2-hour delay. We had about a 2-hour and 10-minute delay, if all things told. Lightning in the area. We've had some nasty tropical weather in Florida the last 10 days, and I'm sure you're aware of that if you follow the NPSL Sunshine Conference. Last 10 days to 2 weeks. The game between Crazy United and Miami United last weekend in Winter Park was a weather debacle. The game took about 4.5, 5 hours to get in the books. That's Florida in the summertime. I can tell you we've had a number of games involving Fort Lauderdale Strikers, Tampa Bay Rowdies, Jacksonville Armada, and NASL that have encountered similar delays, long delays. Here's Feeney, having pushed into a wide area. Gonzalez with a touch. Excuse me, Ramirez. Which is back Chapman Page. Gonzalez wins it in the air, but gives the ball right back. This looks like a promising move for the Fusion, but peters out to that at just a goal kick. Started with a frenzy in this game, both teams creating chances, but now we've settled into a little bit of a midfield tussle. Not a whole lot to report in the last 8 to 10 minutes. Here's Amisa. Valfini looking to win that. Instead, it stays in play for the Fusion. That ball is played toward Ochoa. He does get there. No, he didn't. Or there's a foul being called. quick restart. Chapman Page puts it into play for Beaches. Here's Sakamoto. Tried a nifty back heel, didn't come off. Again, in these conditions, it's not as easy to do that. I've actually seen him do that before and pull it off. Here's Sakamoto again. No foul. Oh, there is a foul. Excuse me. That was interesting. The linesman didn't put his flag up there. Center ref made the call. See if they're communicating with one another, the officials. Looks like the foul call will stand. Fusion players rightly, in a way, saying, hey, the linesman didn't put his flag up. But the center ref made the call. So we will have a foul, and this is another set-piece opportunity for Beaches. Valfini is going to put this in the mixer. So the last set-piece Beaches had, they almost scored on. And it will be just a two-man wall for Miami Fusion. Look for an in-swinger here. This is not going to be a shot on target. Feeney puts it low and a bit short. Sakamoto, that was a playground set piece. Sakamoto came out of the area to meet the ball. That almost came off well. I like that idea. Daryl Gordon wins it but gives it away to Amissa. But now there's a foul on Amissa. Some interesting events there in the last few minutes. Bad giveaway by Gordon. But here's the set piece. Sakamoto comes out, and I think he was trying to flick it in the direction of one of the other Beaches players. See if they could get a shot on target. Didn't come off, but then here Gordon, bad back pass, but I think he was looking for one of his teammates to move toward the ball is what happened there. Miscommunication. They get away with it, but that wasn't very good. That was a beautiful set piece idea, a playground move by Beaches. The unfortunate thing about that is you can only try that once in a game. Once the opposition has seen that play, that set play that you've worked on in training. Or worked on in the playground, right? That's a playground move. You're not going to get away with doing it again in a game, so they'll have to save that for the next game. Valfini, long ball in the direction of Hall, who is out-muscled and doesn't win possession and is eventually called for the foul. We're approaching halftime here in Stewart. Giveaway. Here's Feeney. Feeney looking to play in Amissa. Maybe held that ball for too long, but still won a corner. Well, I have to sense the Miami Fusion coaches are not going to be happy with these mental errors in the last few minutes. This is a fundamentally sound team that generally doesn't make these sorts of mistakes, but they have in the last few minutes. That's a set piece from Feeney. Another opportunity. It rolls harmlessly away. Travis Gonzalez, the center back, was there. Closest man. Got a piece of the ball, but it will be a goal kick. And the rain has gotten heavier here in Stewart on the Treasure Coast in southeast Florida. Sports Mesh TV, my name is Kartik Krishnaiyer, guiding you through NPSL Sunshine Conference action. We're approaching halftime with a 0-0 scoreline in a game which kickoff was delayed by 2 hours. Well, that didn't come off as well as Feeney had hoped. Chapman Page puts it forward. Oh, this is going to go to Jordan Hall. Another mistake from the Fusion. This has been uncharacteristically sloppy from them the last few minutes. Beaches have not taken advantage yet. Here's Val Feeney. They've had a couple chances. Feeney puts it in the mixer towards Sakamoto, but a foul. He pushed off, it appears. So, again, a let off from the Fusion, a bad giveaway, unforced error. and they get away with it. That's about 3 or 4 in the last 7 minutes. They're going to have some regrouping to do at halftime. And they're hoping to get into the dressing room at 0-0. Looks like they might at this point. Not sure how much stoppage time we'll have, if any. Here's an opportunity, potentially, but Cortez scoops it up. Now we're back in midfield. We're into first half stoppage time. 0-0 still. And here's Travis Hall again. Here's Jordan Hall. Doesn't get possession. It'll be a throw-in for the Fusion. Quick throw-in. And here's the layoff. Ball in the area. Here's Victor Cardosa on the ball. To Gordon. Good last-ditch defending there. That's Chapman Page making that clearance. That was being teed up beautifully. Great job by Victor Cardosa, laying it off for his teammate. That could have been 1-0 there for the Miami Fusion. They've been outplayed in the last 10 or 15 minutes, but there's a reason they're top of the table in this NPSL Sunshine Conference season. Oh, cleared off the line, and Cardosa puts it back in. That's a 5th successive match the young man has played in and scored. Victor Cardosa, first half stoppage time. Miami Fusion lead 1-0. And he is also your leading scorer in the NPSL Sunshine Conference this season. Just added to his tally. And that is probably going to be the last kick of the first half. Played back in the mixer. Little bit of a hash clearance there by De Silva. That's unfortunate for Beaches. They played very well this first half. You don't want to go. I was just saying the Fusion were going to go into the dressing room. There's going to be a lot of soul searching and reorganizing, but now they're up 1-0. Now they have a league to protect, so it's completely different. Goals before halftime are devastating psychologically. So that'll be up to Trevor Addiar and his staff to sort out. This will be a free kick. Val Feeney has been dangerous with a set-piece service to this point in this match. Feeney puts it in the mixer. And that's halftime. Miami Fusion get a goal from Victor Cardosa, his 5th in 5 games. The Fusion take a 1-0 lead into the dressing room in a weather-delayed match, in a rain-soaked Stuart, Florida. We're going to take you out now here at halftime to a commercial, and we'll be back with you for the second half in a few minutes. Beaches will get us underway, though. They'll be going left to right. Cardosa and his teammates with the Fusion will be going right to left on your television screens in this second half. Wherever you're watching us, on your television, internet, smartphones, tablet devices, wherever, we hope you're enjoying us here on Sports Mesh. My name is Kartik Krishnaiyer, and I will be guiding you through the second half. Beaches get underway. Return ball for De Silva. Trickled out of play, and will be a throw-in for the Fusion. Got to walk around the field at halftime. It is slick, it is wet, but the sod is holding up well. This is a good surface in Stuart at South Fork High School, and there were spots that were resodded after the last home game for the Beaches here against Crazy United a few weeks ago. there were a couple sand patches. I was here for that game as well. There are a couple sand patches on the pitch that have been patched up now. As you see Sakamoto feeding it back to Callum Chapman-Page for Beaches. The Fusion atop the NPSL Sunshine Conference in terms of points per game, looking to go on top based on points with a victory today. And they're in good shape with a 1-0 lead. A lot of sloppy play toward the end of the first half from Miami. Bad giveaways, miscommunications that led to 3 separate possible opportunities for Beaches to break the deadlock at the time and score. They didn't, and just a minute later, after the final chance for Beaches, in first half stoppage time, Cardoso got that goal. It's 5th in 5 games, as we mentioned, to give Beaches the lead. To give the Fusion the lead. Pressing high now are Beaches. Trevor Adyar likes to have his teams play nice football, build from the back. That's what Beaches have tried to do today. But in these conditions, perhaps long balls might be in order. It's still raining pretty heavily. So checked out the conditions, as I said, at halftime. Yes, the field is slick and the sod is holding up, but I would also say it kicked around for a little bit. And the balls are all heavy and slick. So tough to control, and that accounts for some of the unforced errors we saw toward the end of the first half by both teams, particularly by the Fusion. Sakamoto, speaking of unforced errors, right there. And that's a slick ball and a heavy ball. Normally a very good technical player. One of the exciting young talents in this NPSL Sunshine Conference is Felipe Sakamoto, but that was not one of his better moments. And that is cleared. We do not have lightning in the area anymore, so it looks like we're probably going to get the full 90 in, which is great. We weren't sure we were going to even kick off in this one. Here's Daryl Gordon for Fusion, putting the ball in the direction of Cardoso, the goal scorer, who laid it off, and that will be a penalty. And now we've got some argy-bargy going on. Chapman-Page, Cardoso in the middle of that. Wisely, the captain, Juan Ramirez, for Beaches, pulling Chapman-Page away. That's by letter of the law, that is the right call. Wait a second, it's not a penalty. Excuse me. It is a goal kick for Beaches. I was about to say, by the letter of the law, you could say that's the right call because there was contact, but referees need to have common sense, and if there's no chance to win the ball and it's kind of the momentum of the player and natural movements, you don't call a penalty in that situation. And I think the referees have done a good job. I think they've generally done a good job tonight, with the exception of possibly that controversial non-call on a handball in the first half when Jordan Hall put the ball off of Daryl Gordon's hands, which were unnaturally sitting right in front of him. That was what Torsten Frings did in the 2002 World Cup for Germany against the United States, and he got away with it on the goal line, much like Gordon did tonight. Might have been a different situation. Germany got to the finals. The U.S. lost that match in the quarterfinals, but shot from Greg Berhalter, I believe it was, that who was now the coach of the Columbus Crew, went off of the hands of Torsten Frings, who later in his career played with Toronto FC in MLS. Interestingly, came to play in Major League Soccer. Fusion look well in control of this match now, coming out first 5 minutes of the second half. Looking comfortable, looking confident. As we said right before halftime, this is what happens in games where a team was ascendant, as Beaches were for much of that first half, but then give up a goal right before halftime in stoppage time. And really a goal that at that time came against the run of play. So it's tough psychologically to recover from this. You've already had guys sitting in the dressing room for 2 hours during a lightning delay. They came out for about 4 minutes, and then the horn sounded again. It's been just an ugly night in an ugly 2 weeks here in the state of Florida, in the peninsula. Tropical weather has sat over the peninsula for 2 weeks, as fans of the NPSL Sunshine Conference know. We had awful weather in Winter Park in the Orlando area the other day. Pretty bad weather in Jacksonville the other day. And had some delays in games in southeast Florida, southeast and southwest Florida the previous week. Some postponements. So, and here's a layoff. Chapman Page may have caught him, but there's no call. May have been some play acting also, not sure. We'll have to see the replay of that. Ramirez, the captain tonight for Beaches, lays it off. Sakamoto plays in De Silva, who's taken down. Now, De Silva seems to have assumed more of a central position, which he can do. He starts on the right, and he can cut inside. Very dangerous. Scored a goal when these two teams played last. And here's De Silva getting taken down. Clear foul. Going to be a penalty kick, a free kick in a dangerous area for Beaches, and I'm sure Val Feeney's going to take this. His set-piece service has been outstanding. His delivery all night long. He's a young man that has come over from Ireland that the coaches here just rave about to me, and have since he came over about a month ago. Now, will this be an in-swinger? We got a three-man wall for Fusion. Got a Beaches player trying to get into that wall. Might be a 4 or 5-man wall now. But Feeney couldn't put this on target, and players can be making runs looking for a rebound. I think Feeney might do that. No, it's an in-swinger. He's picked out his target. De Silva gets on the end of it, but it is cleared. That was nice, but didn't quite come off. Now here's De Silva again, crossing it. Sakamoto got a touch after the keeper spilled it. Could have done better with that. Just tried to poke it back. Really had the net gaping open for him. And again, we're seeing uncharacteristic mistakes from the Miami Fusion tonight. Quite honestly, this team that has been so good this season in the NPSL Sunshine Conference. The standout team thus far in this season. We're about midway through the season. They're leading tonight, thanks to Cardoso's goal in the first half stoppage time, but they have not looked themselves for much of the night. Perhaps a lot of that has to do with the weather and the delay, but Sakamoto really could have scored there. And once again, Val Feeney delivered an outstanding set piece. Can't say enough about this young man and his set piece delivery. Now here's De Silva. Ramirez with the quick throw in to Chapman Page. Talked about in the first half how Beaches have tended to play very well in the first half of games this season and have faded in the second half. Fusion been somewhat of the opposite. Now with that late goal, which again we said was against the run of play for the most part in stoppage time, how did that psychologically affect Beaches? They came out flat the first 5 minutes of the second half, but now we're looking quite good. Here's a ball in the direction of an attacking player. Didn't quite come to fruition there, that attacking move. And that's Brandon Joseph Browdy, who's come in for the second half. Here's De Silva. Browdy has replaced Amissa, who did not have a great first half and was getting frustrated towards the end of that half. Had some opportunities to score also, quite frankly. Here's Ochoa. Dribbling through a couple of guys, and that was not much power behind that shot, and a tight angle, and it's still almost snuck in at the far post. Really good move here by Ochoa. He's got his own goal-scoring streak also. He scored in the last 2 games. As we said, Cardoso has scored in 5 successive games. This team has just been very, very good the last few weeks in NPSL Sunshine Conference action. We're going to have a goal kick. Ramirez, looking for a teammate, now gets it to Feeney. And here we go. Some build-up play from Beaches. If they can break this press. This press is now higher than it had been. Here's Feeney again. Nice move. Find some space. And here is the young man who just came on, Joseph Browdy. Muscled off the ball. Heavy touch. But Ramirez really can't clear that, and now it's fallen to Gordon, who puts a shot towards goal, and again, that took a hop, a deflection, and almost snuck in at the far post. Ramirez on the ball to Chapman Page. Saw Chapman Page in Beach's opener against Boca Raton FC. They lost that match 2-0, but was very impressed by that young man playing at center back. Cleaned up a lot of messes that night. Now another opportunity for Fusion. Good defending there, but a bad giveaway. We've seen a lot of heavy touches of the ball, and again, that has a lot to do with the conditions tonight. Jordan Hall gets knocked down. I guess that's going to be a foul. Gordon, the offending party there. And we'll have a free kick for Beaches, a chance for them to gain, take a breather, regain their breath, because the frantic pace of the last few minutes has been problematic. And let's see, it looks like someone is going to go in the book here. Yeah, I'm not quite sure who committed that foul, but someone is being booked. Get all the post-match statistics from these NPSL Sunshine Conference games at the NPSL's website, npsl.com. And you can see all the highlights from these matches on our YouTube page, Sports Mesh TV. We've hit the 60th minute in Stewart. Sports Mesh TV coverage of the NPSL Sunshine Conference. The Miami Fusion lead Beaches FC 1-0. Goal by Victor Cardoso. His 5th goal of the season in first half stoppage time. The difference between these two teams right now. And here's Ramirez for Beaches, who plays he got away with that, played that back to Gonzalez, who now plays it in the air in the direction of De Silva. Those of you in South Florida, this is a great matchup. It's a bit of a derby. Beaches, a team made up almost entirely of players from Palm Beach, Martin, and St. Lucie counties, local players. The Fusion made up of players from Broward and Miami-Dade counties. These guys know each other. They played against each other in youth soccer, travel youth soccer. Part of the community derby aspect of NPSL all over the country and here in Florida in the Sunshine Conference. Here's Sakamoto. Feeney regains possession. And that is going to roll harmlessly back towards the Fusion's keeper. So, tough one for Beaches. Certainly was a promising build-up there. Fusion have been very good when they've gotten leads this season, including in that, I don't want to call it controversial, but I guess it was controversial for some. That match between Miami United and Miami Fusion a couple weeks ago in Aventura. It's a lot of excitement that night. But once the Fusion got into the lead and got control of that game, we saw Miami United lose their composure. Another back heel that doesn't come off. We've talked about that a lot in the first half. More direct play there with that ball, but not able to connect. Gordon doing some dancing around in midfield and is dispossessed. They're coming the other way. Here's Hall. Crosses it, palmed away by the keeper. But he had De Silva at the back post. And keepers don't want to make any mistake there. You always hear this controversy about why do keepers punch the ball there instead of catching it. Well, you can make a mistake if you catch it, and that ball's going to head into the parking lot. I hope it doesn't hit my car. I got the Honda Accord hybrid sitting right there by that fence. We'll see if I have any dents in my car. Go half post game. Here's Chapman Page. Again, Beach is trying to build for the back. This is very much the philosophy of Coach Trevor Adyar. But high pressing teams like Miami Fusion can cause you some trouble. So long ball in the direction of Hall, and Gordon plays it out for a throw-in. But it's good from Beach's perspective to see some long balls. That's how you beat this press. We all want to play beautifully and build out of the back, but this may not be the night for that. Here's Feeney. Feeney's an integral cog in building from the back, but a heavy touch and he gives the ball away. Ochoa. Some good stuff to try and maintain possession against the press. Both teams selectively pressing in this second half. Out to the left wing now. And that's going to go off of Ramirez and be a throw-in for the Fusion. Got about 26 minutes and change left here, plus stoppage time in the second half. Plenty of time for an equalizer for Beaches, but you feel like they've had some really good opportunities. Most recently, that ball that Sakamoto had half the net open on after the keeper spilled it and not able to put back. Not sure how many more good chances they're going to get. Hall puts it in the direction of the second half substitute, Joseph Boadi, and it trickles away. Here's a throw-in. Feeney heads it down, but it's taken away. High press again. Ochoa closing down Chapman Page. Almost forced a turnover. So here's Sakamoto with some space. He's dangerous in these areas. Cuts inside. Looking for a teammate. De Silva's making a run. He tried to pick him out but didn't get it there. So that comes to naught again. Gonzalez plays it forward. That doesn't go anywhere. Keeper gets it away. Choa lays it off. But Ramirez gets possession for Beaches. Chapman Page. Good ball. And here comes an opportunity for Fusion from distance, but collected by the keeper. The keeper, as we mentioned today, is Fernando Cortez. Not quite sure why Elliot Barker isn't starting. He was on my sheet as a starter, and he's been very good when I've watched him in the previous few matches. Here's Sakamoto. Ramirez placed it to De Silva, back to Sakamoto, but is dispossessed. Beaches are stringing together 2, 3, 4 passes, but that final ball isn't there and hasn't been most of the night. Feel like you need a creative player to unlock a defense that's well organized. That's normally Sakamoto. He's normally that guy. But tonight has not been his best night. Felipe Sakamoto. Outstanding young player, but he's had a little bit of trouble with the wet ball conditions tonight. Joseph Browdy almost closed down space there and won the ball back, but doesn't come off. Now this is in the direction of Gordon. It's not going to get to him, and it's going to be a throw-in for Beaches. Beaches are going to make another substitution. Alan Morgan's going to come in a few minutes. He's a player that is quick and has a degree of creativity, the ball at his feet, and we'll see if he's able to break down the defense. We'll see who he comes in for in a minute. That ball rolls away from Ramirez. And now we're going the other way again. Ochoa. And that will roll away for a throw-in. It's going to be Beach's ball. Chapman Page. Ball took a funny hop. It'll be a throw-in for Beaches. And Hall's going to come off for Morgan. So Alan Morgan comes on. Jordan Hall, who had a couple scoring opportunities, had one great one in the first half, wasn't able to finish, comes off. A player I think has been one of my favorite players to watch this year in the NPSL Sunshine Conference, Jordan Hall. Another good effort for him today, a lot of running, not ideal conditions, and unable to finish that one really good chance he had, but just a phenomenal young player. Keep an eye on him. Val Feeney, speaking of keeping an eye on a player, he's going to take this corner for Beaches. He's been phenomenal with the set pieces. That was his first somewhat errant set piece. But De Silva collects it. It looks like De Silva has gone over to the left, and perhaps Alan Morgan is playing on the right. And I'll check that in a minute for you. Now I think De Silva is actually going to come back to the left side, and Morgan is back there. You see he's on the ball, his first touch of the match. Here we go the other way. Deflects off Feeney. Oh boy, that was they got bailed out there. But those are the sorts of giveaways we've seen from both teams tonight. And as I said, it's very uncharacteristic from the Miami Fusion. Cardosa lays it off. For those of you perhaps outside of Florida watching our telecast tonight, you should take note of this Miami Fusion team. You might be seeing them in the national playoffs. There's a good chance you'll be seeing them in the national championship tournament in July and August, and they are potent going forward. Here's Ramirez on the ball. Feeney gets Morgan another touch. And that actually looks like Rachidi has gone forward into a attacking position on the right side. He was playing on the left side, excuse me. He was playing left back previously, and Morgan is going to play left back. Watch for Morgan's overlapping runs because he's a good crosser of the ball. And here's a giveaway. Ochoa has it, a chance to dispossessed there, but Ochoa a chance to score a third goal in 3 games. That's what I was about to say, and he still has about 18 minutes and change to do that. Sakamoto. Feeney, and it takes a deflection. Rachidi is going to catch up with that. Sakamoto. Back to Morgan. Joseph Browdy, nice layoff for Morgan, or for Rachidi, but there's a foul, and that will be Fusion ball. That's the most kind of touches around that the Beaches have had in a while, yet the move really didn't go anywhere in terms of unlocking and getting a shot on target. So Trevor Adyar has used a couple substitutes here, got a few more available. He'll be hoping to affect the result of this game. His team's played well at times, adverse conditions. You always want to get these games in if you can, so teams don't have to travel again and you don't have to reschedule. But the conditions have affected the play. And there's Sakamoto to Joseph Browdy, who tries to cross it, and it's cleared. Here's Gordon. Beaches electing not to press high here. Thought they might. Well, here we go with a little bit of pressing. Ramirez gets forward, and he wins a throw-in. Taken away. Ochoa turns. Nice ball. The thing you might notice watching at home is that even though Beaches have probably had as many opportunities, if not more, than the Fusion, and Fusion here might have another opportunity, Daco is just wide. The Fusion's much more fluid in their attacking movement. So they're able to touch the ball around. When they get the ball in an advantageous position, positioning is good. Guys are making the right runs, and they're getting more dangerous opportunities, even though Beaches are getting as many opportunities. So we're going to have a change here. Victor Cardosa, the goal scorer, appears to be coming off for Fusion. So he has scored 5 goals in the last 5 games he's played in, last 6 games overall. For Fusion. But they have an eye on a game on Saturday against Boca Raton FC in Aventura. That's a big game. They're all big games at this point. So we're about midway through the season, and the title race is hot. But the Fusion can take another real mammoth step, gigantic step towards winning that NPSL Sunshine Conference title and qualifying for the national playoff tournament with a victory tonight. they can hold on to this. Here's Valfini putting a long ball in the air. De Silva was the closest player, but that rolled harmlessly away. Be a throw-in for the Fusion. But the Beaches staff is urging their players forward to try and set up a press here on this throw-in. Ball's one in midfield. Here's Feeney. Got some time to pick out a teammate, and he does, and it's De Silva. De Silva is fouled in a dangerous area. And we've talked about Feeney's set-piece quality all night. His service. Well, here's a chance for him to put a shot on goal from that angle. That is going to be a dangerous free kick with a dangerous set-piece taker on the ball. That is a mistake from the Fusion to commit that foul. De Silva made a nice move, but chances of him actually beating the last man and putting a shot on goal or playing in a teammate were unlikely. And the rain is a little bit lighter for the first time tonight. Been a terrible weather night. Looks like Alan Morgan is actually going to take this set piece. He has a strong left foot, so this will be an in-swinger, I believe, where Morgan is going to try and play it past this four-man wall and get a teammate on the end of it. Morgan puts it right into the wall, and it's cleared. Cortez is going to come off his line and settle this. So that didn't necessarily come off the way that Alan Morgan wanted to, right into the wall. Here's Feeney. Back heel, back. But Morgan's got an extremely strong left foot. Good placement with it, so I can see why he took that free kick. And again, we mentioned a few minutes ago, he's dangerous on overlapping runs. Might see that in this second half as he came on as a sub for Jordan Hall a little while ago. Here's Feeney. Joseph Browdy, who's had some nice touches since coming on. Sakamoto. No way through, though, for Beaches. Fusion very well organized. Ball into the area. It's cleared. Chapman Page lays it off. That's a giveaway. Another one. Continuing his run from distance, and that's a goal. That might do it. So it's going to be... It's 2-0 for the Fusion now. Great attacking move. Unforced error, but really good attacking move. As we said a few minutes ago, there's been a fluidity to the way the Fusion play when they get into the attack after those mistakes from Beaches. When Beaches make, when the Fusion make mistakes and Beaches get the ball in the attacking half or the attacking third, they're not quite as crisp. Great finish there. Beat the keeper to the far post. That's a classy, classy goal. And Trevor Adyar is, and his Beaches team are staring down the barrel of a gun now, down 2-0. And we've said they've got dangerous players: Sakamoto, Feeney, De Silva, Ramirez, who's on the ball now, but there's been no way through for them tonight. They've had chances. Hall had that chance in the first half. Sakamoto had that outstanding chance in the second half. They weren't able to finish either one of them. Either one of those go in, it's a completely different game. But the Fusion, once again, putting their foot on the throat of an opponent, and this is why they're top of the table in the NPSL Sunshine Conference. And we would remind our viewers that might be outside of Florida that there is a reason why they're going to be a formidable team in the national tournament. We're going to see another change now from Trevor Adyar, third substitution of the second half. This will be Alan Martinez. See who he comes on for in a minute. There's a lot to like about this Beaches team, but really kind of unfinished product in the final third. And here's Ramirez unable to clear it. And here's the substitution. This will be Gonzalez coming off. Gonzalez for Martinez. So now you're rolling the dice. You're taking off a defender, putting on a guy who's going to play higher up the pitch. Looks like Ramirez is going to go inside, and they're going to play with a three-man back line. So, got to do something, right? Throwing more attackers on. And there's the first touch for Martinez. Martinez not really an attacker, but he's a midfielder who can knock the ball around, play box to box, maybe let Feeney go forward more. Here's Feeney getting caught in possession. Martinez. Could be a throw-in for the Beaches. Frustrating night. There were moments of quality. Frustrating night for Beaches. I think it was just a good workmanlike effort from the Miami Fusion. We still have 8 minutes and stoppage time to play, but you get the sense the gas has run out on Beaches. And we talked about this in the first half, that they're very good first half team, tend to not play as well in the second half of games. And what we have had happen today here is that they have at times been very, very good in the first half, but couldn't finish their chances. And Cardoso's goal right before halftime really did them in. That goal coming at a time in first half stoppage time when all the good chances in the previous 10 to 15 minutes had fallen to Beaches. Good ball wide. Here's Martinez playing it forward. He's found Sakamoto, who's going to lay it off for Valfini, who I believe will get further forward now with Martinez in the match. A second number 8. Nice flick. That flick actually came off, but to no avail. Really impressed that this playing surface has maintained its integrity, if you will, with the heavy rains. Players love to play on natural grass. They don't particularly like playing on artificial turf, but you're seeing more and more turf surfaces throughout the state of Florida because of these heavy rains and the need to maintain and the need to resod surfaces so often. Good ball. There's another dangerous opportunity. Beautiful layoff. Ball was being played in the direction of Ochoa. Didn't quite get there. Fusion really don't need another goal here. They can touch it around and try and keep possession. And build back from the back now. By the way, they have a game on Saturday. Quick turnaround. 48 hours. That'll be less than 48 hours after the weather delay today. Against Boca Raton FC, who are coming off a 4-0 loss to Jacksonville United in NPSL Sunshine Conference play. Although Boca Raton did beat Miami United last night in an APSL game. Both those teams are also NPSL teams, but they compete in a second competition here in Southern Florida, the APSL. Miami United and Boca Raton do, along with several other teams. So they played last night, and Boca Raton won that game. Those two teams had played in U.S. Open Cup with Miami United winning, and they had also played in the opener of our NPSL Sunshine Conference season on April 30th, the opening game in the conference. Miami United won that game 1-0. They won the Open Cup game 2-1 with a late stoppage time goal, really against the run of play when Boca Raton was controlling the action. And then last night, Boca Raton won on 10 men with a late goal. So that's a budding rivalry in the NPSL Sunshine Conference between those two teams, since they've now faced each other twice in the last month outside of NPSL Sunshine Conference play, both in the U.S. Open Cup first round proper and the APSL. But the story in this league right now, in the NPSL Sunshine Conference, or in this conference I should say, is the Miami Fusion, and they are leading 2-0 here, seeing out this game in the 86th minute in Stewart on a rain-soaked evening on the Treasure Coast. Weather delay we had earlier of over 2 hours. There have been some shaky moments for the league leaders, but when it comes down to it, they have shown a lot of quality and incisive finishing quality in that final third. A team that never runs out of ideas and scores goals in boatloads, and they've scored 2 more tonight. Just a ball is played towards Barker, or excuse me, towards Cortez. He makes the save. Melbeke plays it forward, just flinging long balls forward now. It's all you can do if you're Beaches. Beaches, a young team, has a lot of quality in the side, but this isn't the first time I've seen them run out of gas in the second half of a match. Really controlled the first half against Boca Raton FC in a match earlier, or actually last month, and got beat by two fairly late goals. Lost that game 2-0. And match against Crazy United, which ended up winning 2-0. They scored an early goal and then were absolutely dominated in the second half. Crazy couldn't find an equalizer, and then last kick of the game on a counterattack with the keeper out of his area. A great goal. I believe it was De Silva, if I remember correctly, to close the scoring. We're going to have a change again here. 2 Miami United substitutes coming on, and again, they have a game in less than 48 hours. They're going to want to take advantage of all their available substitutes and give some guys a blow if they can. Although it is kind of late, so you give you guys a rest or such. Give them an opportunity to sit for a few minutes, but still, that's a tight turnaround. The trips are short in this league, but they're still trips, and you're not exactly conditioned to play every 48 hours if you're a high-level soccer player. You can do it from time to time, but it's a tough turnaround, and Coach Ferdy and company at Miami Fusion know that. See, 3 points are in the bag tonight. Get some guys some rest. And if they get 3 points on Saturday against Boca Raton, they're a really strong bet to win this NPSL Sunshine Conference. Time is running out on other teams. I really, we talked earlier, I really like how Crazy United has played all season long. But they're going to have to be near perfect to catch this team. Going to be a free kick for Beaches as we're in the final minute of regular time. Minute 90 in Stewart. This will be Feeney, puts it in the area. Ball bounces. Going to be cleared away. Well, it's not cleared away, and Ramirez got a touch, and it went off of him. No, I think we're getting a foul call here. This will be a free kick. Ramirez was fouled as he attempted to win that ball. So one last set piece opportunity potentially for Beaches as we are going to enter second half stoppage time in about 9 seconds. This will be Morgan with the strong left foot taking it. He will put this as an in-swinger. 2-man wall for Fusion. In the area, but cleared. Gonzalez was the target for that set piece from Morgan. That was a better delivery than this last one, which went right into the wall, but didn't quite reach the recipient. Cortez puts it back. Out there, up, falls to Chapman Page. Another quick free kick. A little bit of pushing and shoving here as we're into first minute of second half stoppage time. It's going to be Feeney again. He's had some great set-piece service tonight. Even if it doesn't affect the result, it would be nice for the young man to see if he's rewarded here, to see him rewarded here. You can see on your television screens how wet this grass still is. The rain continuing to come down in Stewart. There's Feeney right on target, but a good save. Punched away. And Miami coming the other way, they don't really need to do anything. They just need to hold the ball. They don't. So this ball's going to go back to Ramirez. Back to the keeper, and he's probably just going to fly this forward. And he does. Long ball, out of play, harmlessly. It's going to be a throw-in for Miami Fusion. We're in the second minute, of second half stoppage time on Sports Mesh. NPSL Sunshine Conference action. My name's Kartik Krishnaiyer. We had a 2-hour weather delay here in Stewart. Once we got going, it was an even matchup through the first 45 minutes. Maybe the Beach is having the better of opportunities, but first half stoppage time, a goal by Victor Cardosa gave Miami the lead. They added a second in the second half, and they're closing in on yet another victory to take them atop the NPSL Sunshine Conference with 15 points. 2-0, just trying to see out this match now. And that's a good clearance by Cortez. But Beaches need more than clearances now. Foul on Feeney, and I think we might just see this game play out now. Might have been the last touch of the ball for Beaches, who will lose their 4th game in 5 tries in this NPSL Sunshine Conference. But as I said, they've had some genuine quality in all 5 of those games in the first half, and kind of trickled away from them in the second half of each game. Even the game they won, they were much better in the first half than they were in the second half. Cortez puts it back into play. 4th minute of second half stoppage time. This game has gotten away from the homestanding team, but another great win for the Miami Fusion. And that's it here in Stewart. The Miami Fusion now on 15 points atop the NPSL Sunshine Conference table. We've got another matchup on Saturday against Boca Raton. They could pull away from the chasing pack. 2-0 over Beaches. A lot of good chances for both teams. Best opportunities for Beaches fell to Hall in the first half and Sakamoto in the second half. Couldn't finish either of those. Cardosa's goal, his 5th in 5 games for the Fusion, was the game winner. In first half stoppage time, Fusion added a second after that. So once again, thank you for all of us at Sports Mesh. We will catch you next time. Final score, Miami Fusion 2, Beaches FC 0. And thank you once again for joining us. Saturday, we will be with you at 5 p.m. Eastern Time to see these same Miami Fusion, the league-leading Miami Fusion on 15 points, take on Boca Raton FC, who badly need a result to get back into the title race. 5 p.m. Saturday here on Sports Mesh. Once again, thank you for joining us. My name is Kartik Krishnaiyer, and I hope you enjoyed NPSL Sunshine Conference action tonight.